Ready to dive deep.
Let's do it. Get ready, because today we're going deep into the world of luxury empires. We're talking about Bernard Arnault.
The man, the myth, the legend.
That's him, the guy who built LVMH, the powerhouse of luxury.
When you say it like that, kind of sounds like a superhero origin story.
Right. I mean, we've got excerpts from his Wikipedia entry here, and trust me, this is not your average run-of-the-mill billionaire backstory. This is Bernard Arnault.
Exactly.
Okay, so what's fascinating to me is he didn't start out, surrounded by luxury.
No, not at all. Arnault's journey actually begins in a totally different world. We're talking engineering.
Yeah.
The man honed his analytical skills, all that logic, at the, very prestigious École Polytechnique.
Seriously, École Polytechnique. That's not exactly a breeding ground for fashion moguls, is it? You don't really think like, oh, there's a future fashion icon, sketching designs in their thermodynamics textbook.
Right, right. And that's what makes Arnault so intriguing, isn't it? I mean, this is someone trained for precision, for logic, pivoting to something, well, let's face it, as seemingly subjective, even frivolous as high-end fashion luxury goods.
It's kind of like, when you find out a world-class chef used to be a rocket scientist.
Exactly. It's that unexpected blend that makes you wonder, what clicked? How do you go from equations to, understanding the language of luxury?
That's the million-dollar question. It's like he's the Da Vinci of luxury or something, mastering both the art and the science of it.
Precisely. And you can see this duality, this unique blend from the very beginning, from the get-go. I mean, take the Boussac takeover in '84. That's the move that earned him, well, how do we put this delicately? The nickname, the Terminator.
Oh, yeah, I read about this. This is where things get really interesting. He was, what, in his 30s? Still a young guy, right?
Young and ambitious, and he pulls off this audacious takeover of a struggling, really struggling textile group. It's gutsy.
Boussac, what was it? Some kind of thread factory or something? What did he see in that?
But you see, that's where Arnault's genius comes in. Boussac, as you said, was on the verge of collapse, a dinosaur. But hidden within this mess, like a diamond in the rough, was Christian Dior.
Dior? Wait, so he bought the whole shebang, all the problems, just for Dior?
Essentially, yes. And he got it, get this, for the symbolic price of 1 franc. 1 franc.
You're kidding. Are you serious?
Dead serious. It sent shockwaves through the industry. This wasn't just a business deal. It was a statement. Arnault was here to play.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. The Terminator part, it's a bit,
A bit harsh.
Well, yeah. Thousands of jobs were lost in that Boussac restructuring. That's a lot of livelihoods. Is that the price of progress? Was it a necessary evil?
It's complicated. It's important to understand the context. Boussac was practically drowning in red ink, weighed down by a bunch of outdated and unprofitable ventures. Arnault's vision was, well, ruthless, yes, but also strategic. Streamline. Focus on the core. Dior. He trimmed the fat, even if it ruffled some feathers.
So the Boussac takeover, that was like his trial by fire, proving he could take a heritage brand, dust it off, and make it globally relevant again.
Exactly. It was a blueprint for his future success, a sign of things to come. And that leads us to, well, his most audacious move yet, the birth of LVMH in '87. This was a power move for the ages.
Yeah, the creation story, right. The merger of Louis Vuitton and Moët Hennessy. 2 giants becoming one.
And this wasn't just some friendly handshake. Arnault had a plan. He saw the potential of these brands combined, the power they could wield together, but he knew he needed control to really make it work.
He wasn't content with just being along for the ride.
Not at all.
From what I remember, he played it smart, strategically acquired enough shares to block anyone else from taking control. Like a chess grandmaster holding the company hostage in a way. It was genius, really.
Strategic brilliance. He wasn't afraid to use his leverage. This maneuvering, it ultimately pushed out Louis Vuitton's then president, Henri Racamier, making way for Arnault to take the reins of what would become, the world's leading luxury conglomerate.
And that is how a former engineer, armed with, a calculator and a whole lot of ambition, positioned himself as the emperor of luxury. So he did it, built his empire. What's next for the newly crowned king of luxury? World domination.
Pretty much. With LVMH under his command, Arnault went on, you could say, a bit of a shopping spree.
We're talking the best of the best, right? The creme de la creme of fashion houses. Like, what did he grab? Give me some name.
Oh, you name it, he probably snagged it. Givenchy, Celine. But it wasn't just fashion. Think champagne, like Krug, the good stuff, and perfume, Guerlain. The man had taste.
Okay. So it wasn't just about accumulating brands like trophies on a shelf. There had to be a method to the madness, right? A bigger strategy at play.
Always. See, Arnault, he was building something bigger, something, well, brilliant. He handpicked these brands, each one bringing something unique, something special to the table.
Like assembling a luxury Avengers team.
Exactly. But instead of saving the world, they were, well, dominating the luxury market, becoming unstoppable.
Okay, I'm getting the picture, like a fashion and luxury juggernaut. But how does it work? I mean, you've got handbags, champagne, perfume, even yachts, right? How do you even begin to manage all of that?
It's about control. Think of it like, okay, imagine a car, a luxury car. You've got the design, the brand, but then you need the engine, the leather for the seats, every part perfectly made. Arnault, he went out and bought the best companies that made those parts, bringing them all under the LVMH umbrella.
So he controlled the whole process from start to finish.
Exactly. Vertical integration, they call it. He could guarantee the quality of the craftsmanship of every product, from a handbag to, a bottle of champagne.
Smart, very smart, but also risky, right? I mean, putting all your eggs in one basket, or in this case, a very luxurious basket.
Sure, there's always risk, but Arnault, he thrives on it. Plus, he knew spreading the love, so to speak, across different price points, different product categories, that's the key. That way, no matter who you are, what you're into, there's an LVMH brand for you. It's like this unavoidable, luxurious gravitational pull.
No escape from the luxury black hole.
You said it. Seriously, imagine a shopping mall, right? But every single store is an LVMH brand. Fashion, watches, jewelry, even high-end chocolate. It's mind-blowing.
Talk about a dangerous place for my wallet.
Exactly. But remember that Gucci story I mentioned earlier? The one that's, well, didn't go quite as planned?
Oh yeah, the one that got away. Tell me everything.
It was epic, like a clash of the titans. LVMH versus, well, they were called Pinot Printemps Perdut back then, KPR. You know them now as Kering.
High stakes, big egos, lots of drama.
Oh, you bet. Billions of dollars on the line. It was a battle for control of, well, Gucci, one of the most iconic names in fashion. But in the end, LVMH, they walked away.
Really? Why?
But here's the thing. They didn't walk away empty-handed. See, they sold their Gucci shares, and get this, for a cool $700 million profit.
So even in defeat, Arnault still wins.
That's our Terminator.
You got to respect the hustle.
Yeah.
Okay, enough about fashion for a sec. I read that Arnault's also got his fingers in a lot of other pies, right?
Yeah.
Investing in, like, tech, even yachts. What's that about? Isn't that a little out there, even for him?
It might seem that way, but it actually makes perfect sense when you think about it. This guy, he's got an eye for opportunity, for spotting the next big thing.
Okay, I like the way you think. So he's not just a fashion guy, he's a visionary.
He's playing 3D chess while everyone else is stuck in checkers. It's about staying ahead of the curve, diversifying not just within the world of luxury, but beyond. And that takes guts, it takes vision.
So he's always thinking 3 steps ahead. But let's talk about something, or rather, someone else who might be a step ahead, or 5 steps, actually his children. I mean, 5 kids, all in strategic positions within LVMH. That's no coincidence, right?
Definitely not. This is a family business, and we're not talking about, your local bakery here. This is LVMH. We're talking about a dynasty in the making.
Okay, so it's like Succession, but with, like, way better clothes and a lot more champagne.
100 times more glamorous. So you've got Delphine, the eldest. She's calling the shots at Dior now, CEO and chairman, a force to be reckoned with.
And then there's Antoine, right? He's the image guy. Make sure the LVMH brand stays squeaky clean.
Exactly. Image is everything in the world of luxury. But those are just the eldest. Don't underestimate the others. You've got Alexandra running Tiffany & Co., Frederick at Tag Heuer, and even the youngest, Jean. He's already got his hands dirty in the watch division.
So many potential heirs to the throne. So what happens next? Will they play nice and share the empire? Or are we going to see a good old-fashioned family feud?
It's a story that's still being written. Each sibling, they bring their own strengths, their own ideas to the table. Will they clash? Will they collaborate? I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Talk about a cliffhanger. But family drama aside, there's more to the Arnault story, right? He's not all champagne and roses. There were some controversies, weren't there? Like that whole tax thing a few years back.
Ah, yes. Let's just say even titans have to answer to the public.
Right, controversy. It's tough to be on top without ruffling some feathers along the way.
Especially when those feathers are already adorned with designer labels. Remember, we're talking about a man who embodies luxury, right? So when Arnault made that move to snag Belgian citizenship,
Oh, yeah, the whole tax exile debacle.
exactly. It didn't exactly scream man of the people, did it? People saw right through it, called it a blatant attempt to shield his fortune.
Yeah, it wasn't a good look, especially in France where, well, taxes are practically a national sport.
It was a PR nightmare. People were outraged, calling for boycotts of LVMH brands. I mean, we're talking protests, the whole nine yards. It really showed how much his image had been tarnished.
Yeah, he went from luxury icon to, like, public enemy number one for a hot minute.
He underestimated the public's perception, their sensitivity to, well, let's call it a disconnect between the haves and have-nots.
So what did he do? Just write it out.
Eventually, he backpedaled, publicly declared his support for President Macron and his economic policies. It was a strategic move, for sure, a way to mend fences, damage control.
Yeah, I guess even billionaires have to play nice sometimes, at least publicly. But hey, let's switch gears here. Can we talk about Arnault's, how do I put this, his slight obsession with art?
Slate, this isn't just a casual interest. We're talking about a man who owns Picasso's. Warhol's, his personal collection, could rival some museums.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, that's impressive and all, but it's just stuff, right? Paintings on a wall, what's a big deal?
Ah, but you see, that's where you and Arnaud differ. He understands that art, real art, it transcends just stuff. It's about legacy, it's about prestige, about aligning yourself with beauty, with history.
Okay, I see. It's not just about owning a pretty picture, it's about what that picture represents.
Exactly. It's about elevating your brand, associating it with things that are timeless, priceless.
And let's be real, nothing says luxury quite like a multi-million-dollar Picasso hanging in your lobby.
Right. It's a statement. And speaking of statements, let's not forget the Louis Vuitton Foundation.
Oh yeah, that spaceship-looking building in Paris. I've always wanted to see that.
It's incredible, and it perfectly embodies Arnault's philosophy. It's a fusion of art and architecture, a testament to his influence and, well, his deep pockets.
It's like he's saying, look at me, I appreciate the finer things in life, and I'm not afraid to share them with the world.
Exactly. And by extension, align yourself with LVMH, and you too can be a part of this exclusive world.
It's marketing genius, really. But let's be real for a sec. Most of us aren't jetting off to art auctions anytime soon. So why should we care about all this?
Right.
What's the takeaway for the average person?
That's a fair point. But here's the thing. You don't need a billion-dollar art collection to appreciate the strategy behind it. Arnault's story is about more than just luxury goods. It's about having a vision, taking risks, and knowing how to market yourself, your ideas, to the world.
So it's like taking a page out of the luxury playbook and applying it to, well, life.
Exactly. Think about it. Arnault saw the potential in things, in brands that others overlooked. He wasn't afraid to shake things up, to disrupt the status quo, and most importantly, he knew how to create a brand that people were, well, frankly, obsessed with. And those are valuable lessons no matter what your aspirations are.
I never thought I'd be taking life advice from a luxury tycoon, but hey, I'm open to it.
Right. But here's the million-dollar question, the one that has everyone buzzing. What happens to LVMH after Arnault, who takes the reins? Can they maintain that same magic touch? Or will it all crumble without the Terminator at the helm?
It's like the Game of Thrones for designer handbags.
Right. And with the world changing so fast, climate change, social responsibility, who knows what the future holds for a company built on, well, luxury and excess?
It's a lot to think about. Will they adapt, evolve, or cling to the old ways? I guess only time will tell. Well, folks, there you have it. Bernard Arnault, the engineer turned luxury emperor, the man who built an empire on champagne wishes and caviar dreams. It's been a wild ride, full of ambition, audacity, and let's face it, a whole lot of luxury. We'll leave you with this thought. In a world that's constantly changing, is luxury just about owning expensive things? Or is it about something more, something deeper, something lasting? That's something for you to ponder. Until next time, keep it classy.